Happy Monday and welcome back to Hustle Haven. We are your hosts. I am Tiesha Renee.
And I'm River the Realtor.
I forgot to say y'all favorite podcast, but y'all
knew
know.
that. Look, at this point, y'all know what y'all favorite podcast is.
Yeah, I know what the favorite podcast is, and if it's not Hustle Haven, we honestly have a problem. Seriously.
We will fight you.
We will fight. So today, guys, we're going to talk about the power of pivoting and changing direction and knowing that it's okay.
It's the knowing
I feel
it's
like
okay.
we might be the Dr. Phils of the business world.
I literally agree. I feel like we're like
it's okay.
Massaging it in.
Yeah, like let's be okay.
I love that. We needed it us.
So let's talk about what does pivoting mean though. Like what exactly is pivoting?
I feel like when I think about pivoting and when I have pivoted in my business, pivoting is just changing. Right. It's changing the way I'm doing things. It's changing the what I'm doing. It's changing the how I'm doing, who I'm doing.
Period. Hey, pivot.
Your girl has been pivoting, okay? That's
in all aspects of your life. New man, new business, new woman.
There we go.
I love that though, because pivoting doesn't mean like you completely throwing this business away. It's like you can still have the same business, but maybe you're pivoting on who you target. Or maybe you're pivoting how you run the day-to-day of the business, or pivoting how you show up on social media. Like, pivoting is just change. Yeah. But I feel like there's kind of like there can be a bad stigma around pivoting because it can kind of feel like failure. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh, this didn't work and like I didn't do good at this or something like that, so now I gotta change it. And I think we just need to erase that narrative.
I agree. I think the failure comes when it doesn't work and you say, well, I quit.
Yeah, that's
like you're a failure.
Yep.
And I don't care because grow up. But I think pivoting is more so like, okay, this did not work. Let me try something else to make it work. Like just because your first thing did not go off without a hitch doesn't mean you quit or you give up. You pivot.
You pivot and you change direction and you see what works. Because a lot of times the first thing that you do or the first thing that you implement into your business, it might not be exactly what you need to be doing.
It may not even be what you want to do.
It might not be what you want. You might actually hate it. Like, no, literally. You might have a clothing brand. You might hate ordering those clothes.
You might hate the clothes, period.
You might hate the clothes, period. Yeah. So it's kind of like, why are you still doing it? Like, you're doing it because you don't want people to see that this business didn't take off, but that's okay. Like, the next one will. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
And you know what I thought was so interesting when I was like, so I decided to like look up stats of like businesses that were different. Yeah. Did you know that Instagram was a check-in app? Like, Instagram hasn't always been Instagram.
So what do you mean check-in?
It's like a check-in app, like a location app, I don't know what is really called.
Like when you check in with your friends, like show them where you are?
Yes, like that type of thing.
It kind of still is a check-in app because y'all love to clock people.
But it's like now you like Instagram.
Yeah.
Like now you're I didn't know Instagram when you were a check-in app. Like, I didn't know.
That's true.
And now I do know you, okay? And then you know the communication app at your job, Slack.
Slack, yeah.
That was a game. Like, it was a game at first. And now it's
Slack, and everybody uses Slack in corporate America.
Everybody uses Slack. You know what? I didn't know about Slack as a game.
That's true.
You might have BMW clothing line, and I didn't know, and now you got
BMW car.
Now you change. I'm just saying. The idea of pivoting is like not failure. It's like you're just changing your direction, changing your target, changing whatever you're doing to do exactly what you enjoy or exactly what you're meant to do, period.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like the younger generation, the Gen Zs and the millennials, I think we do a really good job of that, though.
I agree. I think we're okay with like change, and
we're okay with it.
I feel like there's this mentality for like the older generation of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's like, to me, it don't gotta be broke to fix it. It just kind of has to be a need for change or need for something different. And I think it's also really important because our generation moves so quickly and we're so trendy. And one day this is hot, the next thing no one cares. And so if you aren't able to keep up with those times, I feel like you do fall by the wayside a little bit. So I feel like our generation, we really have no choice but to pivot and like act like we loved it even if we didn't.
Exactly.
Because the only way you're going to stay afloat.
But I feel like that also comes from technology being so prominent and social media being so prominent.
I agree.
Like, the older people, you know, you didn't really have that. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, you didn't even know what everybody else was doing.
You in the newspaper, on the radio.
That's true.
But now it's kind of like, we can put it in your face today. Like, right now. If I wanted to change... I don't want to be able to I'm an interior designer. I can put a post right now.
Delete all your posts and be like, coming soon.
Coming soon, interior design.
Interiors by top.
And who said what about who? Because now I'm designing houses.
Exactly. And
now
I never
I'm selling
know.
houses. But I love that, like, we're no longer being married to just one thing.
Agreed.
Like, we are all about, you know what? I got this business. I want to do this business too. I want to do that too. Like, I'm going to do everything that I want to do. I'm going to change it however many times I want to change it. And, you know, I'm still going to be happy about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I feel like when it comes to real estate, especially, like, one thing I always see pivoting, for me at least, is like the brokers that I work with. I always joke, like, I've been at 9 brokerages and since I started real estate 4
you don't
years
mind.
ago.
Queen of pivot. You might be the queen of pivot.
Hello, call me Queen P. Okay, and the P is for pivot. But the reason is, though, every time, like, I grow as a person or I grow in my business, I recognize that there are different needs that I didn't have before.
Right.
And so instead of me staying in a space that does not support my new needs, I pivot and I go somewhere that can support what it is that I'm trying to do. And I think what happens a lot of times is that people are scared to pivot because they don't want to feel judged. They don't want people to be looking at them like, oh, you don't know how to commit to one thing. It's only one thing I got to commit to.
Me. What you about to say? Me or...
2 things I have to commit to. But when it comes to my business, the only thing I have to commit to is like my own success. So if that means I got to change up where I am, if I have to move my feet to make it work, that's what I'm going to do. And it's okay.
Oh, but I think that's a good point though. Because I feel like when you think about pivot, you thinking you're pivoting because it's not working or because it failed. But you can also pivot if it's still working.
I
agree. You want it to work better.
Even better.
And that's what you just said. Like, I'm growing. My business continues to grow. And I'm seeing things that I need to, whether it's to work with this, you know, influx of clients or whatever it is that you need to with the continuous growth. So it's like you're pivoting not because your business is doing bad or you're not meeting your goals. Good. You're pivoting because it's doing good and you want more. Oh, I love that. Okay. I feel like when people start doing good and they're like, oh, you know what? This is comfortable. I'm gonna just stay here. And that's, I mean, hey, if some people are like that, and that's if that's you, and it's like I just want to live and be comfortable. Perfect. That's
one
perfect.
thing. Me and Tiesha, let's hold hands on this. One thing that she and I feel like always clicked on was that we were never okay with just being okay.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people, you know, that go into business or go into entrepreneurship, they're genuinely okay with just being okay. And that's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. But she and I always talked about like, I just want more. I just need
want more.
And I feel like that's kind of where that pivoting comes in because it's like, even if you are in a space and everything is working absolutely perfectly, it's like, okay, this is good, but what's next?
Right.
How do we move forward? How do we continue to grow this? And I feel like that's one thing we always connected on, but that's really where the pivot comes in for me, at least in my business.
But you know, that can be a good and a bad thing.
Okay, tell me why.
You know what I'm saying? Because it can be kind of put a lot of pressure on you. It's kind of like...
Oh, the pressure be here. I ain't gonna lie.
The only thing I do, I love wanting more. The only thing that I don't love, and I got it because this, you know, giving the real, I don't love when I want so much more that I'm unable to celebrate what's happening right
in
now.
The moment. Yes.
Like I probably said this before when I sold my highest price house, and I was sitting at the table thinking about how I'm gonna sell the next house.
Yeah.
Why am I
not happy about your win?
Why am I not just soaking this in? Like, you are selling almost $1 million house, and I think that was my second year in real estate. Like, why are you not like patting yourself on the back, going to get drinks?
Yeah, I don't know why. Because baby,
girl, I'm leaving the clothes. I'm in the car like, okay. Well, my next client, when you want to see houses?
But see, I feel like that's a hustler's mentality, and I feel like that's what we kind of came in this business doing. We came in this business like top producer. Oh, that's gonna be us. So, okay, we had already decided who we were and what we wanted to do. So I feel like that was a little different, but I think it's okay because it takes you a long time. But I feel like I'm just now getting to a point where it's like, okay,
slow down.
I have aimed for enough, and I'm actually happy with my receivables
right now.
I'm happy with my receivables.
I'm happy right now. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay there forever.
But at this current juncture, I'm happy.
But at this current juncture, you know what? I can live with it.
I can live with it.
But in 6 months, maybe like, hey, it's back up. But right now,
I'm happy.
Let me enjoy this. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize wanting more, but also taking time to enjoy what you have now.
Okay, Jim.
Period. Put that on a shirt, too. We got a whole lot of shirts to print.
We're going to come out with a Hustle Haven clothing line.
Woo.
See, pivoting. You knew Hustle Haven as a podcast, and now you're about to see it as a clothing line.
Now we're a clothing brand. Might have sweatsuits, everything you need. Stay tuned. So let's talk about, like, you mentioned, like, okay, so you're growing, you're realizing things didn't change. Let's talk about how do you know when it's time to pivot? Ooh. And then not just how do you know. No, go ahead. Let's start there.
Okay, I think it's 2 ways, right? Because we're talking about pivoting from when things are not going exactly perfect, and then we're talking about pivoting when things are going great. I think when I know to pivot when things are not working is that I pretty much, every time I do something, in my mind, I have an outcome, right? My thing is if I do A and B, I expect C and D to happen. Mm-hmm. And so once I do A and B, and I do A and B, keyword here, to the best of my ability, When I do A and B to the best of my ability and C and D are not occurring, for me, it's time for me to pivot, right? The reason I said to the best of your ability is a key word is because sometimes y'all do stuff, y'all. Now, let me look at this camera. Y'all, okay? I'm really on y'all right now. Sometimes y'all do stuff, but y'all don't do it to the best of your ability. You don't try. One thing I ask all my mentees, all the agents at my brokerage, I ask them, do you feel like you did this to the best of your ability? You know what they say?
No. I did it just to do it.
I did it, but I did not do it. When you do something to the absolute best of your ability and then it does not work, then you can say, let me pivot. But if you just doing stuff, putting it in the air, and you're not really giving it 100%, it's not time. Do something, give it 100%. If it doesn't work, then for me, that's when I start like, okay, let me figure out how to change this or tweak this to get my C and D like I wanted. Now, when it comes to like being in a good space, when do I know to pivot? For me, it's when my wins and my resources don't align, right? If I'm continuously getting all these clients and I'm continuously growing my business and I'm continuously getting all these things poured into me, but I don't have the infrastructure, I don't have the resources, I don't have the things that I need to support
the systems and everything to handle it.
Then I'm like, okay, I got to do something because if I keep growing at this rate, I'm not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
So I started kind of looking at that balance and seeing, do I have everything in my, as Jayla said, in my toolbox? Do I have everything in my toolbox that I need to keep supporting this level of growth? If the answer is no, then I pivot.
Right.
I changed the brokerage I'm at. I changed the strategy. I changed the technology. I changed the people on the team. I do whatever I need to do to continue to support the growth and where I already knew I wanted to go.
Period. Ooh, both of those was fun. Let's snap for that.
Like spoken word.
Okay, that was a spoken word. That was good. And you kind of stole
queen.
everything I'm going to say. But hey, I'm also going to say
thank you, queen.
You're welcome, queen. I say for me, any business is about the numbers. So if you're a business owner, you should be looking at what you're bringing in and what you're putting out each month.
Okay.
And if those numbers aren't aligned, if you're putting out more than what you're bringing in, now it's time for you to pivot. Are you putting too much money toward pictures? I don't know. Like, what do we need to do so that we are making more money than that we are spending? You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're just not meeting the sales that you want to make, like if the numbers aren't numbering, it's time to pivot.
That's it, Jim.
If you need to pivot your audience, pivot what you're doing on the back end, I don't know. It's your business. You have to figure that out on your own. But if those numbers are not aligning month after month after month or week after week, however you track your numbers, it's time to pivot.
There's no reason you should be spending $1,000 a month on a content shoot and you not making $1,000
and you made
a
$100.
month.
The pictures are not working.
The pictures are not even that
They
cute.
do not care that arm is crossed and those legs are crossed and you're on that table with that iPad. Yeah.
They don't
no,
care.
baby. Let's get in the field here. It's not working. Another thing.
Do you rap or do you tweet? I can't tell. Get in the booth.
Ooh, beep. Because I wanted to say it bad. That's my sound.
Okay.
But my second one is going to be if you're not getting the feedback, the good feedback that you should be getting.
From who?
From your clients. Like if you have a clothing brand or a service, you're doing nails, hair, and you're consistently getting bad reviews, it's time to pivot, baby. It's either the customer service isn't working.
The service isn't working.
The service isn't working. I don't know. But if you're continuously hearing things like, oh, maybe you should do this or, oh, maybe you should do that. Let's listen to the people that you're trying to service because, you know, they're most, what I said, the customer's always right. Sometimes they are.
I think that's a really big thing. And I also think that's a really hard thing. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Criticism is difficult.
Yeah.
Even when it is constructive, criticism is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you put so much into your brand and so much into your business, and what did Lauryn Hill say? I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my like, I understand that. And I've done things in my business that I was like, oh yeah, it's almost like social media. Like when I make a reel, I'm like, oh yeah, this gonna eat. And then I get 12 likes. I'd be like,
haters.
I be like looking at y'all like, so y'all was hating today. But I think it is important, like Tiesha said, to listen to your consumer because that's essentially the person that's going to keep your business growing. And even if you love something and you feel like this is a line, it's okay to pivot and do things for the customer base you have.
Right.
Because you're not going to buy all your products. You're not going to keep doing your nails and make a business off of doing your own nails. It's the people that you service that have to help you pivot and learn. So if they tell you like, hey, sis, French tip is in and
you need to get on it. The
duck
lines
nails
is not
are
straight. I don't know. Get it together.
You got to listen to what they want because, again, those are the people that's going to buy into your business, into your concept, and ultimately make your business continue to grow.
And they're also going to tell other people. So if they're saying bad things, they're going to tell other people bad things, and that's just going to go. And it's just going to go, and it's just going to go. And then you're just going to be known for bad business and bad things.
Literally.
Okay, but I also feel like you have to know, because I feel like some people pivot just off of like emotion versus strategy. So like you can't decide like I'm going to change my whole business right now because I'm mad. Because I'm sad today. You know, like you have to know, is this like, deep. Are you doing this because you really need to do this? Like, is it time to do this? Or are you doing this because, you know, you might be hurt in a relationship or something, and now you're taking it out on your business? Let's know the verses between strategic pivot
and emotional.
And emotional pivot.
I think that's a hot topic.
That's a hot topic. Hey,
that's some smoke.
Put that fire on you.
I think I'm a person who I'm very like, I do things based off of a feeling. If I don't feel good about something, if I don't feel this fire, I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I realized that was okay in my personal life, but I realized in business, I couldn't do that like I wanted to. Like if a client did something that I just didn't love, I would be like, I don't need this. Like, but you do need this.
Right, you're not going to find
And I do need to see this through. And I can't just make a decision emotionally. I have to be very strategic. And I'll be honest, up until this point in my career, I've probably had at least 20, 30 times where I was like, I'm done. I'm stressed. I'm not doing this. I quit.
You call like, I'm putting in applications.
I'm putting in applications for a job knowing that I don't want a job. But I was just so emotional and frustrated about everything that I was just doing anything. Right. I think that when I started being strategic, I started telling myself, no matter how I feel emotionally, I got to hit this, and this, and this before I can take a step back. And I don't know, just a little tea I'm going to drop on this podcast. I am in the process of taking a step back from doing real estate.
You didn't even tell me that. So, hey, I'm over here like,
this is a very juicy podcast.
We have confrontation.
Don't be emotional. Be strategic, please, okay? But that's because, again, like I have literally set up certain things and put things in position because I knew, like, I don't want to sell forever.
And that's okay.
I want to teach and I want to do those things, and I'm trying to align myself to do that now. So I say all that to say pivoting, it happens, and it happens on your own timing. But again, being strategic versus emotional really does make a difference.
Make sure it's the right pivot. Make sure you're not doing it because your boyfriend pissed you off. Mm-hmm. Again, that goes back to look at the numbers. This is working. This is growing. You're not doing bad. Let's keep it up. Let's make some changes and, go from there. But like, make sure it's a strategic pivot, not an emotional. Like they say, sleep on it. And if you still feel the same way tomorrow, then maybe do it. But if you don't, then you were just sad, Pooh. And that's okay.
It's okay.
We get sad. We
just
get sad.
Like you, I get lonely too.
I get lonely too.
Hey, I got jokes today.
So with that, let's, at the end, let's give however many tips you want to give. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mm-hmm. What are some tips that you would give for someone looking to pivot or thinking they need to pivot? What should they do?
Okay, so my first tip for someone who want to pivot, I would say come up with your why. Mm-hmm. Okay, is your why something that's really important to the business? Is the why something that's really personal? Figure out your why just in general so you can understand, is this a good time to pivot or is it even a good idea to pivot?
And if you already have your why, see if that why is still the same.
That is true.
Because that changes
Making sure that still aligned is the same.
Yep.
I think the next thing is to have a plan, right? Mm-hmm. Just to wake up one day and say, you know what? Hustle Haven podcast, I'm gonna make a Hustle Haven clothing line. We're not just gonna jump out and do that, right? We're gonna really sit down and come up with a strategy, a plan, and really understand how to execute it.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself in that same, what did we talk about last week? When you just do stuff and you don't really have no clear route or line of business. Like, I think as a business owner already, you kind of know what things you face in the beginning of your business. Don't put yourself in a position to refill those things.
Right.
Take the lessons from the business you currently have, and before you pivot, be like, okay, I need a strategy, I need a clear plan, I need an outline so that you can execute properly. And I would say the last step, I'm going to piggyback off of what you said earlier. Listen to your consumer and listen to, like, your output. Mm-hmm. Think about what it is you're putting out. Think about what you're receiving in, and just make sure it makes sense. If you're putting so much into something and not getting what you want out, the results are not there. Or if your consumer is steady telling you they need something different from you, listen to that and go with that. Like, let that move you and let that make you, or help you rather, make the right decision.
Okay. I love those. I'm going to say, if you're thinking about pivoting, do your research. Don't just jump out and do something you saw River do on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And now you're like, River did it. It should work for my business too. Do your research. Make sure you know, is this pivot even going to work? Is this pivot going to benefit? Is this pivot going to be helpful before you actually do it? And 2, test ideas. Don't feel like you have, when you pivot, there's just one direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, pivoting doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to change it and do one thing. Maybe you want to change it into 2 things, like 3 things. Like, test different things that feel like are your passion. Like, find what your passion is what I would say. Like, what is your passion? Goes back to your why, goes back to what you want in the life, what you want your consumers to see. Like, go back to those things. And then lastly, I'm going to say, I feel like when you pivot, you have to know how to communicate that to your audience as well.
Yes.
Because I feel like when you're pivoting, you don't want to lose their trust because they're like, okay,
what are you doing?
Saying? What are you doing? Like, when you're pivoting, know, like, okay, how does this change the communication to the people who are buying my product? How does it change the communication to the people who are looking at me because they want me to be their agent? Like, know that when you make those pivots, you're going to have to communicate. Like, hey, I'm still an expert in this field. I still do this, but hey, now I'm adding this to the roster of things that we're doing. Like, communicate. Like, you're not just changing up. You can still trust me in this area, but I'm also adding this, or I just want to change the direction a little bit. So
I love that. And I want to add something to that. I just want to say, to your point, you already have an audience.
Right.
Don't let pivoting make you lose the audience you already had. Pivoting should help you add on to the audience you've already created.
Exactly.
So I love that. Continue to build the trust with the people who have already trusted you, and then start something else that's going to make even more people trust you. But don't like separate the two. They're both still your consumer base.
Exactly.
That was tea, sister.
That was tea. A whole lot of tea. Where's my tea? Where's my cup of tea? But no, guys, we hope that is super helpful. If you're thinking about changes or you feel like your business needs to change, just do it. Okay, we always say that. Just do it.
Nike sponsor us.
Girl, it's not even that hard. Just do
Next
it.
time, we should wear Nike sweatsuits.
And if you guys got to connect at Nike, we're looking for sponsors. So
get them
give
on
us
the
a
line.
call. Because we be doing just do it, and that they need to be aligned with that.
Ridiculous.
But no, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to share with your friends, your family, like, share, comment, all the good things. We love the engagement, and we will see you next time.
Bye.